Hey guys, it's Wowous. We're here with Heroes of the Storm, and today we're playing as Phoenix. So Phoenix is one of my favorite heroes in the game. He's somebody that you can do a ton of damage with. And yeah, we're gonna get started here. Advanced targeting is really the choice. For level 1. What it does is every time you hit an enemy hero, it adds zero point 0.5 damage, and then after 30, you do an extra little loop of this. So it's a really helpful talent, and it's basically the only one that's chosen at level 1 in any sort of play. Now, the team compositions here, you can see both teams are pretty squishy. Neither team has a warrior, so I actually think that will work out okay for us. We'll see how our team plays, but it's not a huge deal. We've got Gazel up top here, not surprising. We're just going to sit here and sort of ping him with damage as much as possible. And basically, you want to build up your Q stacks as quickly as possible. As Phoenix, you want to try to hit as many heroes as possible. If you're in a lane where there's multiple heroes, that's great. If you're in a lane like this where you're one-on-one, you're going to want to try to hit him as frequently as possible. Now, a reminder that when you play Phoenix, he doesn't have any mana, so you can basically do this as much as you want, and you can utilize his skills as frequently as they pop up. Get back here, heal up a little bit, and let the wave come back to us so that we're fighting more under our tower. It's something that you don't see as much in Heroes of the Storm, but in general, when you play, if any of you played Dota or some of the other MOBA type games, frequently you want to try to pull the wave back to you because it just makes it a little bit easier. You're a little bit safer when you're closer to your tower. Now, Phoenix can switch between attack styles, and so he has this kind of quicker laser that shoots one, and then he has this sort of burst orb that goes out like this. And so the burst orb, especially if you shoot in the middle of a wave, if you take out the little healer mage guy, you'll hit the entire enemy wave at once. So you can wave clear very, very quickly with Phoenix. But when you're fighting one-on-one, you want to utilize this other laser here because you're going to be able to ping this guy at a much faster rate. And I'm going to do this as well, and we'll be able to take him out. Unfortunately, I stayed a little too long. I thought maybe that healing would be enough, but he targeted me with those, obviously. At level 4, I prefer to take Emergency Protocol. Emergency Protocol lets you move much quicker when your shield's down, which would have been helpful perhaps in that situation when you're kind of committed to where you're at. And now we have our first Immortals popping up here, so we're going to head towards ours and see how quickly we can nuke it down. And you can see here, Phoenix can put out pretty much a pretty good amount of damage. Now, when you're attacking something like an Immortal, right, you want to use your laser like this because you're shooting much quicker. And it says here, you're basically, when you switch to the other one, your range decreases a little bit. You do burst damage, so you hit everybody in an area. Or, excuse me, splash damage. And then it's a little bit slower. So all in all, when you're fighting one target, you always want to be using the other option. Now here we've got Tracer on us, so we're going to try to teleport behind. Let him... You just want to give yourself a few seconds, if you can, to let your shields recharge. If you're in a situation like this, see if we can hit their healer. Take out this. And then see if we can push down here some of this. And again, you can see, oh, misclicked there. Um, you don't have a ton of health as Phoenix. You basically have a lot of shield that regenerates pretty quickly. So in general, you want to try to keep your shield as up at full power if possible, because you can see here your health is just a couple hundred. Typically, if you've taken any damage, it's just about 1,000 health total at the start of the game. So you just gotta be careful about that, especially when you're playing against someone like Tracer who can keep up the pressure on you. If you can hide behind the enemy line, that works out well. Here, level 7, I like to take Combat Advantage, which makes your Plasma Cutter do more damage to slow targets. And remember that every time you hit a hero with it, it slows them. So it basically makes the second loop around or the third loop around of it do much more damage. So I highly recommend that talent at level 7. It just helps a lot in team fights like this where you're sitting on top of a group of heroes with your Plasma Cutter. Tracer is definitely a tough one-on-one matchup for Phoenix. She can dodge your Plasma Cutter pretty well. You can't output a ton of damage to her, as you can see. So not an ideal matchup for me, to be honest. And you gotta be careful because she can really like sit on top of you like this. I want to heal up just to get back to full health. And now we've got Lily coming as well, but maybe we can do a little bit of damage to her. And we're going to retreat again. Here comes Hanzo. Tracer's like on top of us. So again, we're just going to sit behind here until our shield gets back up because we're very low health. We'll try to push this lane just a little bit. You can see there's 4 of them here, so we're going to switch up and rotate up to Immortals here. And somebody needs to push this back. Kel'Thuzad is going to take care of that. Let's jump on Lily and take out their healer. That'll be super helpful. Let's get going on this. And luckily people will run away from your that's a nice play by their team. They'll run away from your Plasma Cutter a lot. So you can use it to kind of spread people. If you're here and you run your Plasma Cutter around in a circle, a lot of times people will move away from it, even though it doesn't really do a ton of damage right off the bat. Our problem right now is we're down 2 levels, and there we go. We need our heroics. So I'm going to take Purification Salvo because I think it's going to do more damage overall in terms of in team fight potential. And we're going to actually head up to ours because they're going to all be here. Try to nuke this down. And I use it usually as an initiating thing. It's great if you can, kill some heroes with it, but in general, I find it's helpful to just sort of soften up the enemy team if you can jump in and put out a lot of damage right off the bat. And you can see there, we were able to successfully take out a handful of them, even though we lost the Immortal. So the Immortal is going bottom, and we're going to head down there to try to limit the amount of damage that this thing is doing. Where Nova got caught up here? Jeez. For once in a while, people do some interesting things when you're playing in a quick match. We're going to sit just on top of this and basically switch to our laser here and just kind of go and try to ping him down as much as possible. You just want to avoid obviously getting hit by any of their little circles. And now if we can push back this, again, you want to just aim for the middle to try to hit as many of them as you can and take out as many of these as you can. And then when you get down to like one, again, we're going to try to push back this little wave. A nice play there by Nova. Let's see if we push this down. We're able to take out Gazlowe pretty easily there with the help of Nova. Here, it doesn't really matter. This tier is not the most important in terms of Fenix, but I like to take rapid recharge, which just basically, if you're getting healed, it helps your shields. Yeah, we know. Tracer's gonna get him. Let's see if we can take out Lily. Probably not. Let's get up to her immortal. Alright, well, we have a couple of problems here. Obviously that lane's getting pushed up, but somebody's going to there. They're gonna take out our immortal pretty quickly here. Heroic comes back online pretty soon, so we'll see if we can maybe get on top of them. But again, we've lost the immortals. I don't know. This doesn't seem very winnable to me at this point. And personally, I've been on a string of probably like 7 or 8 games where we just keep getting just stomped, which has not been the most fun experience. But sometimes you have those little cold streaks as you're playing, which stinks, and then other times you go on winning streaks. So the air damage is not great. As you can see there, you can also mount as you're running away and still use your plasma cutter, which is interesting enough. Let's see if we can scare these guys back. And then, yeah, here at level 17, I typically, or 16, I take offensive cadence, which means that multiple, if you hit with the repeater cannon multiple times, it will empower it. So it's, again, you can choose a couple of those, but I prefer this one, especially in terms of when you're kind of on top of someone and continue to utilize the same laser cannon over and over again. Let's see if we can defend this. Ugh, this is a frustrating game. It's hard to see what more we could do. I mean, Kel'Thuzad doesn't have a ton of hero damage, but other than that, Nova's putting out decent damage. The healing is good. Um, nobody's dying a ton. Like, we're actually knocking out Lily an actual ton of times. 7 times is pretty good considering there's only 18 deaths or 15 deaths on the enemy team. But we just keep losing every objective, which you're never going to win this game if you lose every single objective. And all of our lanes are already pushed, and we haven't taken out a single or a single fort yet. So there's not much we can do in terms of this at this point. Oh, can we take it? Finally, an objective. Let's see which way it's going. It's going up top. This Lily keeps overextending. Push down this. See how far we can push this. Take out Lily, but Tracer takes out our healer. Now we're in trouble. Gotta get back. For level 20, I prefer the secondary fire it causes every time you hit them with a plasma cutter. It shoots, what's it called, a purification salvo. So it can really help your damage. We're gonna quickly be here and just heal up a little bit. We've at least caught up in levels too, so that team fight definitely helped a little bit. Let's see if we can push this lane. And obviously, as you get into late game, every single time you can pick off a hero, right? He's down for a minute now. That's going to be super helpful. So let's see what we can do to push this lane as hard as possible. Might have a comeback here. took out their Lily right before the team fight, which is super helpful. Genji's going to get away. He's just too slippery to really be able to hit him with Nova's ult in general. Go. This is not ideal. This Gazlo's wicked annoying. Alright, let's see if we can push him back here. Jump on top of him. There we go. Again, we're just going to try to heal up here as much as possible. And then go. There we go. Push this lane back just a bit. We're going to head to mid here to try to get this immortal because this is going to be important. Let's see. There we go. Now we're going to jump on top of this immortal. The biggest problem with Fenix is that he's just very bulky, so it makes it very difficult to dodge some of these things as you're pushing down an immortal. He can't get out of the way of these things a lot of the times. Oh man. We cannot lose this. So frustrating. Get the catapults. This Gazlo definitely is doing everything he can for this team to try to push us down before we can get into the enemy base. We're going to push back top here. If we can push this down pretty quickly. Here they come. Oh, nice. We just have to watch bottom that they don't push us all the way back there. Oh, that's no good. Oof. Nice triple kill. Let's see, I'm back up on 50. They've got 3 guys down. We should be able to take this immortal. I think we'll be able to hold this back. Okay. Luckily, this guy here has kept their wave away from our base pretty well. We gotta get out of here. Our team is like way too spread out. There we go. Alright. To defend. It's frustrating. I don't know why Nova was trying to do that. Like, we need to win this Immortal. I'm clearly 1-on-3 up top here. See if they can take out this Gazlo and Tracer. Not good at all. I don't think we can push back this Immortal quickly enough. But we'll try. Gotta get on the other side of him. They're gonna be right behind him. It doesn't help that these guys are already on top of it. What a frustrating experience this was. Well, that's how some games go in Heroes of the Storm. But hope you enjoyed the game. While it was a tough defeat, get a chance to see how Fenix plays. I think overall it went pretty well. It was definitely a tough team composition to go up against. But all in all, not a terrible game. Whenever you have a game that goes 30 plus minutes, you know that it was a pretty good back and forth. So yeah, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear from you if you're enjoying what you're seeing and what you'd like to see more of. Thanks.